Hello, and welcome to another video. And today we'll be talking about the Japanese J2M2 plane that's sitting at rank 3 at 5.0 battle rating. And this is a plane I like, or rather liked, very much when I used to play the game like a few years ago. The J2M2 was at a different battle rating. It was at 4.3, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a completely dominant plane at that battle rating. Main characteristic of the plane is its very strong rate of climb. So usually you would be up above everyone, high in the sky, with huge energy advantage as you start engaging. But as with most Japanese planes, I don't know why this happens over time. Maybe the win rate for Japan is just too big. I'm not sure. But the battle rating for this plane has steadily been growing, and it's now at 5.0, as you can see over here. And this has some pretty serious implications, as you'll see in the video today. Now, for characteristics, we'll see that the J2M2 sports 20mm cannon with quite a low ammo count. 200 at this battle rating is not particularly spectacular, nothing to write home about. And something that is actually terrible is the 7.7mm machine guns with 1100 rounds, and this is completely suboptimal for this battle rating. You, for example, can't reliably go for bombers with this ammo load, and most fighters you'll find severely outgun you. So this may be a problem. Now, max speed 596 kilometers is actually quite slow for 5.0 battle rating, and you will see this illustrated time and time again in the clips that I'll show here in a bit. So yeah, the speed for this plane is a problem. Drag as well. You may see here that the max speed before your wings rip is 820 kilometers per hour. However, I have done several actual nosedives, like 90 degrees, and I can't accelerate the plane up to that point. And the positive side, I didn't rip any wings. But on the negative side, I can't accelerate past that point. So actually diving and catching faster planes, especially American ones, is a huge issue. Turn time is okay for a Japanese plane. It's nothing special, right? If we were to compare, for example, with an A6M of the same battle rating, let's find here the A6M5 here, for example. Turn time is 17.3, so 2 seconds faster. Other planes that you will find at this battle rating, for example, here the Spitfire LF Mark 9. Where is it? Oh, it's here. We're talking 17 seconds turn time. On Mark VC here, 17 seconds, 17.8. If we compare to Russia, you'll find planes like the Yak. Well, the Yak 3, it is true. On a down tier, 17 seconds. On an up tier, the Yak 3U, you'll find 18.7 seconds turn time. So all these planes turn faster than you, as you can see. We go for Germany for like BF109 G series, like G6. Where's the G6? 22.1 seconds. Okay, we outturn the G6 horizontally. However, energy retention for the G6 is better, so there's that. And USA, well, I guess we will outturn a US plane, so that is nice, right? If you compare here to a D30, for example. You know what? It's 20 seconds. What's the trim choose for J2M2? It's 19 seconds. Okay, we outturned the P51 Mustang by 1 second. So, okay. We got that going for us. FRU4B. Okay, we're faster than that. So, turn time is, I mean, average, as you can see. And rate of climb is good, but, I mean, it's a highlight for this plane. You're usually up above everyone. However, you will find that in up tiers, which are very frequent with this plane, You have planes like the BF-109G and K4 that climb just as well as you do. You have interceptors or attackers that have an air spawn and climb even better than you do. For example, the P-38 is a huge problem that you face in the American side. Spitfire climbs just as well as you do, and the AX are competitive. They do climb a bit worse, but their low altitude performance is a lot better. So, I mean, that kind of balances it out. If you're using manual engine controls, we have the performance guide here. You see that recommendation here is that you use 100% prop pitch, usually 3 or 4% oil radiator and 18 to 20% water radiator, and you switch supercharger gears at 2100 meters. In terms of IAS, you're looking at 230 being the optimal climb rate. I think this is a bit on the low side for me. Usually go for like 260, but 230 is supposedly the faster option you got here. And finally, well, there's belts as well. I can show you the belts in a bit. And as for performance comparisons, I have a graph here in WTAPC.org. And I selected here a few of the usual opponents I found in my several games. So I faced a lot of Yak 3s, Yak 3Ts, Yak 3Us, BF-109 G6s, K4s, Spitfires, LF Mark 9s, Mark 15 if I'm not mistaken, or 14s. And the American planes, they do perform worse in a power to weight ratio, but their engine power is a lot higher. So I didn't put them here in the graph, but they would like rank right about here. So if you see, our J2M2 is the yellow line, oh sorry, the red line here, and we are kind of above average at very low altitudes, but as things progress, we are certainly below average here. The Spitfire does underperform, however, the turn time compensates for that, and also the very low stall speed. And the BF-109K outperforms basically from 3K onwards, and low altitude, the Yak is very, very dominant. So we are looking at average to below average plane here in the J2M2 at this battle rating. So I went back here and counted how many matches I played for this video. And starting here, those were 19 matches. Win rate is kind of okay. I wouldn't say, I mean, you're playing Japan, right? So it's not one of the major nations in US, Russia, and Germany. So we kind of are thrown to each side depending on whoever queued on the match. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, as you can see here. And I wouldn't say that my personal performance on the games had any particular high impact on the matches. I did a lot of team play situations, as you see in the clips, but me myself getting like high kill games wasn't really commonplace. I think my highest kill game was like 3 planes, and on average I got like 1 plane, maybe 2 per match. Obviously there were matches that I didn't get a single plane, I got shot out of the sky, but very fast, but those were rare occurrences. So for the most part, you can have some average performances, at least at my skill level, of course, if you are patient. Well, yeah, I forgot to mention about the belts. So as you can see here, I have the modifications open, and I would recommend you use universal for both 7.7mm and the 20mm gun. To be honest, these machine guns are just kind of there, you know, like, I mean, sure, they do something. Maybe they you can use them as lead for the cannon, I guess, but the cannon is what really matters. And the ammo count at 200, I mean, it's not as low as a Yak, sure, a Yak 3. Well, actually a Yak 3 without the U, right? So because that has 120 cannon rounds, if I'm not mistaken, but the muzzle velocity of the Shvac, and I find also the deadliness of the Shvac is a lot higher, in my experience at least, than these Type 99 Model 2 cannons here. I mean, they're not terrible. They're not old Hispanos, for example. They do something, but I would take the USSR or Russia cannons any day of the week if you ask me. So this is the first match that I played. I'm showing there 500 meters convergence. This plane is not particularly sturdy, so I am avoiding head-ons for the most part, unless I get an opportune shot, but otherwise avoiding taking damage. I mean, it's a Japanese plane, so I know how it goes. Bombers are completely out of the question, you know, because like any stray shot will completely destroy plane performance. And in terms of how to use manual engine controls, you'll see that I go full WEP and then set prop pitch to 100%, putting radiator there at usually like 8%, 6%, depending if it's a snow bump or some such, and 18% on water radiator. We're looking at a climb angle of like 23 degrees, 24 degrees, and as we approach 2100 meters altitude, then I'm gonna switch supercharger gear to gear 2, lower climb angle to about 20 degrees, and as we approach 4.55 kilometers and IAS starts to drop below 240 kilometers per hour, then I will drop the angle to 15 degrees. The climb rate on this plane is really good, even with the 5.0 battery rating. So you're usually one of the highest planes in any engagement. So we've got that going for us, but otherwise we have to compensate for, well, you can see me adjusting the angle right there. Don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, so we're going to start with the good engagements, with the highlights, the good stuff. So I have dodged the initial merge here. Was a fucker wolf on my tail, but managed to escape from him. We see the J2M2 here, just minding his own business. He sees I'm approaching, and at this battle rating, you usually face like better players for the most part, so they're very aware. It's kind of rare to find people that are completely dozing off or don't know that you're trying some like obvious tactic like a rope-a-dope or some such. So this guy sees we're coming. The match is coming to a close right now, so I am trying to do something more brave here. So we're going to engage him. Obviously I have an energy advantage and a positional advantage. I lose sight of him through the clouds there for a second. We're going to loop over. The control of the J2M2 at low speeds is really good. So if you can manage to bring fights to the vertical as we hit this elevator there, so I mean he's pretty toast at this point. So if you can try and bring fights to the vertical, especially lower speeds, that's gonna benefit you immensely. The flaps on this plane at low speeds are really good. You do have combat flaps, takeoff flaps and landing flaps. You can use all of these in engagements. That guy's done. We look for the LA-11 right there. Now the LA-11 seems to not have noticed us. I'm gonna have a shot here. Oh no, he sees us, but he goes horizontal. Big mistake, and that's it for him. Now that's 2 kills back to back, looking good. We're on the deck, but we have a good amount of energy. We see that Henkel 162, which is a jet by the way, and we're gonna dodge the head on, and as you can see I make a very bright move right there. Our plane gets strangely hot there for some reason, and we get dropped here on this next match. Strange stuff. This is the initial merge. As you can see, I'm looking at usual suspects, I-225, F-82 Twin Mustang. Everyone is showing up. I see that the Act 3 over there. I mean, we're just considering our options right here. And it is very important to preserve your altitude with this plane. I mean with any plane really, but with this one especially, because the turn rate is not particularly stellar. So if you find yourself in the turn fight, or worse yet, on the deck, it's gonna be hard to get out of that situation. I have 2 guys coming for us. It is nice that we have an altitude advantage here, but very dangerous planes, especially the Act 3U, which is a 3.7 battle rating plane. And I'm considering diving on the Act 3U, but maybe if I do that, the Fokker Wolf will come for me, so as is usually a better idea, we're gonna go for the plane on the back, forcing the one on the front to do a 180 for us. I'm keeping both of them in my view right now. I try and turn with a Yak, but his turn time is better than mine. I don't get a gun solution. I'm just gonna pull up. If I try and turn with him, that's basically me signing my own death sentence. The Focke-Wulf was not exactly efficient there. I think he could have maybe got a shot on me. I was distracted for a bit, but I mean, it works out. And now I'm monitoring both of them. I basically want to see if the X is going to try and pivot for us, but he got distracted with the furball. I mean, that's fine by me. The Focke-Wulf goes below us. We have a very good position here. He's going to pull up. It's not looking good for him. And indeed, yep, that's him back to the hangar. Good stuff. Now I'm reassessing. I see that there's basically a 2v2 going on down there with a yak. Actually a 3v2. It's looking good for us. So I'm probably not needed there. Let's look around a little bit. I see a P-51 going for a Sea Fury. And Sea Fury is kind of not the best plane, if you ask me. So perhaps he could use some help. Just looking over there, yeah, there's another guy coming over. Those two enemies are probably toast. So we'll try and help our friendly here and keep him alive. We're approaching fast. Well, I mean, as fast as this plane can manage at least. There's not a lot. The turn fight has ensued there. They're occupied with each other, which works out great for me. I'm gonna cut throttle, which these were my first initial matches of the day. I thought I had to cut throttle to not rip my wings. I later learned that I can just like go full beams on a dive and I won't rip them out. Now the P-51 has no idea I'm coming for him. This is easiest shot of my life, which I will make. And there we go, that's 2 kills right there. This guy, by the way, was extremely mad in chat. Let me see if he's gonna type. He's gonna type here in a bit. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, he was like very upset that I third-partied him and said it was unfair, but you know. Oh, there he is. So some fan mail is always nice to start the day. Now we're gonna move on to a match where I actually didn't get any kills, but I got 3 assists if I'm not mistaken. It was a nice bit of team play. As you can see, I have my squad mate back there on the radar. He's talking to me, and I'm gonna go for the F8F. Obviously, I'm not gonna take the head on. I'm gonna pitch up, and I'm basically baiting him to try and come for me. I'm gonna do a guns evasion, and very easily my A6M teammate there is gonna get the kill. So it's very important that you're aware where your teammates are at all times, because you can set up easy shots like that for them. A bit later we are gonna move on to the Seafire and Spitfire down here. I'm looking at my teammate down there. It looks like the Seafire is gonna engage on my teammate, so I gotta clear him out. Or is he coming for me? I don't know. Seems a bit strange. He doesn't come for me or for my teammate. Looking at the Spitfire down there to see if he pitches for me. Doesn't look like it. And now maybe he will? Tentative. Doesn't seem to have the energy state to do such a thing. Which is nice, because if you look at the radar there, my teammate will be able to catch the Spitfire from the side as he's looking for my position, and I try and hit the Seafire in the meantime. He's doing a very strange like dolphin motion. Oh, he didn't kill the Spitfire, but he sent him to the deck, which is good enough. And this is going to be a problem with the cannon and the MG, as you see. I don't want to waste too much ammo. My position here is not ideal. The profile of the plane that I have to available to hit is not the easiest. And as you know, I'm not the best shot here, so we're trying to hit the guy. We do, which is nice. Basically at this point I'm trying to convince him to do any sort of turn to show more of the plane to me. He does a turn. I don't have the elevator authority to follow him. But my teammate is coming down there, as you can see, and there we go. That's 2 kills for us. I mean, me myself, I didn't get any kills, which is unfortunate, but he got 2, which is nice. Now there's a Corsair on my teammate. I can try and clear the area. That's another hit. I don't have any cannon rounds anymore. This is a complete tragedy because, as you see, the effectiveness of the 7.7mm machine guns, especially at this battle rating, is like basically 0. If you like hit a pilot, I'm sure maybe, but otherwise you're not killing anyone. Our position is quite precarious here, but the Spitfire is completely enamored by my plane, and that A6M, or A7M rather, comes from the side, kills him, kills the Corsair. We're basically setting up kills for everyone but ourselves, which, I mean, we get the win, so it works out. Now, unfortunately, the good moments are behind us, because I want to call attention to the opposition that we're facing here. Obviously, these are my teammates, but as you can see, we have a 5.7 Spitfire right there. We have a F4UB Corsair, another Corsair. That P38K is a menace. I was fighting him like basically every match, and the Twin Mustang. And what will you notice, and don't necessarily pay attention to the battle ratings themselves, but if you look at the P38, for example, that's a much faster plane than what we can work with right now. And after the match, I was looking at the planes the opposition or the other team had, and it was in line. So usually I was at a very high speed deficit, especially on a straight line, and that limited my engagement options severely. I'll show you another clip here of a different match where I was monitoring the planes, and there you go, there's the Twin Mustang once again. We have N1K, there's Israeli Mustang right there, another one. Oh, there's the P38K again. We're gonna look a little bit more for other planes. As soon as I come back to the menu, we have an LE11 right there. We have that J2M2, which is absolutely insane in terms of max speed, like 750 kph, so it's almost a 160 differential between him and us. There's another Spitfire right there. So as I was monitoring the planes that I was fighting against, I was noticing that they were outperforming my J2M2 in pretty much every metric except maybe climb rate. But even then, if you consider the P38K, which has an air spawn, I couldn't beat those in terms of climb rate either. I225s, which also have air spawns, were an issue as well. So I started noticing these trends, and the next clips will illustrate that for you. So we're going to start with this clip, which shows all sorts of merge engagements that were happening all the time with me. And it's something that fast planes have an opportunity to use. So you see a P38K right there. I see him. I want to engage with him. I can't take a head-on because it has a much more resilient plane with better guns. So my plan here should dodge the head-on, put myself at the positional advantage, maybe start the turn before he does, and then try and reverse him. So he's coming for the head-on. We're going to dodge. We dodged successfully, great stuff. So I'm starting to turn. My plane is not the fastest turning in the world, but it doesn't really matter. Even if I had a 0 here, it wouldn't really matter. And what happens is that he'll just move away. Like, he doesn't have to turn. Why would he? So if it was just me and this P38, what he could very well do right now is he would get separation, and the separation is happening very fast, as you can see. Like we were at the same spot just a moment ago, and now he's 3 kilometers ahead of me. So he gets like 5 kilometers separation, turns his plane around, comes for a head-on again. Let's say I dodge. So he does the same thing again and again and again, up until the point that I make a mistake. He clips my plane, and there we go. Then I'm dead. So you see, he engaged with the guy over there. I seem to be at a positional advantage. I have an altitude advantage. I'm seeing him. Maybe he doesn't see me, so that's good. So let's go. Let's try and fight the guy. he doesn't want you. Just flies away. There you go. What can I do? I can't do anything. I'm just a sitting duck at this point. So it is very, very frustrating to have situations like these. And even if I were to dive and try and catch him, I really can't, because my acceleration won't go much higher above like 700, 750. And at that point, you know, he'll just do a wide turn right now and he's gone. Next clip, and this is gonna be basically the same thing happening. Just to really drive the point home, what I'm mentioning here. We're coming up to the fight. This is the initial merge. I'm looking around, and pretty soon you'll see those two contrails there at the far distance. I'm thinking, okay, we can try and take these guys on. Let's see what's going on. Obviously the planes haven't been identified right now. It's a Messerschmitt 264. That's a bomber. I really don't want to go for that. Now there's a P-38. That's more my speed. Let's go for him. Now there's another contrail back there. It turns out it's going to be another P-38, so I'm not really going to have an option to engage this first one in a dogfight, because if I turn around, the second P-38 is going to have a free shot. So I'm going to dodge the head-on, and then we're going to have to dodge a second head-on from this P-38 here. Oh, is it a head-on? Is it not a head-on? It is. We're going to have to make a last-minute dodge here. And when you are fighting American planes, even if they don't necessarily turn better than the plane that you're using, if there's two of them, you don't really have an option, because I want to turn with the second one, but then the first P-38 is coming up to my position and I have to dodge another pass. And if I start turning here and thinking, okay, I'm going to engage this guy, well, the second one is finishing his turn and is going to do another pass on me, and so basically you never have the opportunity to really engage with any of them. You're just defending the whole time. That I almost got caught there, as you saw, like the shots barely missed my plane. And now there is a Focke-Wulf 190D, which fortunately didn't aim too well, so we live to fight another day. But really my position here is absolutely terrible. There's 3 planes vying to kill me right now. I'm basically just dodging at this point and waiting for my team to arrive and maybe save me, which is happening. You can see there's an LE-7 there. There's a Spitfire Yak-9. So I have some reprieve here. And we can try and find someone to engage. There's the P-38. I can't find a shot. Maybe now, we'll see. He absolutely demolishes the LA, but he pulls up, and that's good for me, I guess, but I'm completely stalled out, as you can see. I really don't have the speed to keep up with him. Fortunately, it seems like he's also stalled out, so it's not like he can drop on me and get an easy shot, so I pull landing flaps right now. He goes for the Yak-9, and let's see, I may have a shot on him. Of course I don't. There he goes. We were 700 meters away from him, and now just a few seconds later that has turned into 1.2 kilometers, and soon enough that's going to be 2 kilometers. And basically any sort of engagement I had is gone. However, he's turning around. Quite the mistake on his part. Let's see what happens. We may have a shot here, but trying to shoot an opponent that is diving is always difficult because they're moving away from your shots. I'm just looking here right now. I don't have that many cannon rounds, as you know, so have to be judicious here with my usage. Looking behind, nobody seems to interested in engaging with me, so yeah, I guess that's it. Nobody wants to fight with me, so I really don't have many options here. Later on, we're looking around and we see this Focke-Wulf 190. Really, the fight seems to be coming to a close, so let's try and get something done here. before the match ends. He seems to be engaged with our friendly Zero there. At least he has eyes on him, so we may be able to engage unseen here. Let's see what happens. Now the Zero seems to not be moving at all. Maybe he's already been shot down and is just slowly drifting to the ground. Well, in any case, he's double dead right now, extra dead. Now we're gonna try and hit this fucker wolf here. He goes evasive, but well, I guess I thought he was gonna hit the ground, but apparently not. We're gonna do a high yo-yo here, pitch over him, avoid speeding past him. He goes horizontal. You know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. Everybody knows what's gonna happen. He kills my friendly, but doesn't escape unscathed, and that's the first kill for us on this match. Quite a bit later, we find this Messerschmitt 162. That's a jet fighter. I think he's the last one alive. He's taken off from his airfield. I'm thinking, is this guy gonna circle around the airfield, or is he actually gonna engage? Maybe he doesn't see me because I'm in the middle of a cloud there. There's a blind hunt going on right now, which certainly helps. And this is gonna be the bread and butter of your kills at endgame if you manage to keep altitude. This plane is decently good at booming and zooming. Roll rate as you accelerate down does get compromised. The elevator especially compresses horribly if you go much above 650, 700. I have crashed more than once while trying to pull up from a dive, so you have to be extremely careful. It's a bit different from the Yak. On the Yak you dive and you break the wings. With this plane you dive, you don't break the wings, but you can't pull up because the elevator compresses and then you die anyways, but you explode on the floor. Now he's going evasive, but it's very, very difficult. He just took off. Everybody wants to kill him. He has no speed. And yeah, pretty rough. He's gonna try and do some funny shenanigans here to avoid getting killed, but he goes horizontal. That's usually a death sentence, and indeed it is. And that's the second kill for that match. Now, before our final clip here, I really want to drive this point home. I have the P38K, which you have seen in the previous two clips, and the J2M2 side by side here in the War Thunder wiki, which has the same data as you compare it with the game. And I want to call your attention to this thing here. So the max speed for the J2M2 is 596 kilometers per hour, going in a straight line, and the P38K is 724. So that's basically 130 kilometers difference between them. Rate of climb. The J2M2, which supposedly is a good climber, 21.2 meters per second, which is decent. It's very good actually. But the P38K, which is, mind you, only 0.3 battle rating above, there's a 5.3 battle rating aircraft, whereas the J2M2 is 5.0 battle rating aircraft. Now 24 meters per second, that's a bit higher, right? And this is also classified as an interceptor, so it has an air spawn, unlike the J2M2, which has to take off from the runway. Well, certainly the turn time is going to be a differential, right? Well, the J2M2 has 19.1 seconds turn time, the P38K 20 seconds. So that's a single extra second of turn time here, and basically everything else is a lot better. Not only that, but the armament. We have 200 rounds of a 20mm cannon over here, and then we have these 7.7mm machine guns, which you might as well not even have them at this battle rating. It's very difficult to inflict any actual damage with these guns. And the P38K has 150 rounds of a 20mm cannon, which is the same cannon that I believe is used in the, not the P39. I forget the other plane that uses these. And 4 50 cals Browning machine guns, which are the same ones that are used by the Mustang P-47. Of course, it's only 4, it's not 6 like the Mustang, but still, you have the cannons. And you have the fuselage as well, which is very resilient. So when you compare these two planes side by side, it is a bit hard to understand why this plane here on the left is 5.3 battle rating, and this one here on the right is 5.0 battle rating. In arcade battles, not that it really matters, but the difference is in favor of the J2M2 somehow. Now, simulator battles is way more representative, as you can see here. It's 5.3 with the P-38K in simulator battles, and the J2M2 is a 3.7 aircraft at simulator battles. I would say that a fair rating for the J2M2, if you ask me, would be like 4.3, maybe even 4.0. Now, it is a bit baffling that you are at this battle rating and facing the likes of the Ju-288C, which is the infamous premium bomber that plagues this battle rating, and you really don't have the performance or the firepower to strike back. And now for the final clip. You want to see something funny? Okay, see that I-225 right there? I want to kill that guy. Let's pitch up for him. Actually, not even. Let's go horizontal, because that's gonna be better, right? So we're gonna start pursuing this guy. We're cutting distance, getting really close. Well, not really. It seems like it has a bit more energy, but hey, I can try diving, right? Hey, who's coming? Oh no, it's the P-38K. This time I was playing with the US, so he's an ally. Well, it doesn't seem like we're gonna catch him. The P-38K is coming up though, and he's almost hitting us. And there he goes. Now I want you to watch what happens next. Now he started from behind me. Now let's count like, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then you just see what happens with the distance. So yeah, I mean, that's the J2M2. It's a fantastic plane. I really like the flight performance. I quite like the plane in general. I have played this plane like a lot in the past. But I have to say, unfortunately, that in realistic battles, using this plane, you tend to get up-tiered quite a bit. And if you get up-tiered, what happens is what you're seeing on your screen right now. It is extremely hard to compete with your opponents unless they make some gross mistakes and they really play a lot worse than you do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video as we watch the I-225 and the P-38K disappear into the horizon, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Oh yeah, let's wait and see what happens with this fight before we go. Bye bye. Well, at least I got to be a spectator, right?